Matter. By the end of this video, you should be able to explain what matter is and describe the differences in mass, weight, volume, and inertia. Matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. For example, this balloon is matter, as is the orange and the pencil. Matter is described by its properties. To measure volume, we use liters. To measure mass, we use kilograms. And to measure weight, we use newtons. Volume is the amount of space an object takes up. Keep in mind that two objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time. We measure volume of a liquid in liters. If it is small enough, we'll use milliliters. Keep in mind that 1 milliliter equals 1 cubic centimeter, or 1 cc. So for example, if you're in the hospital and you're given some sort of IV or medication, they usually give it to you in the amount of a cc, so say 10 cc's. 10 cc's equals 10 milliliters. When you're measuring a liquid using a graduated cylinder, you have to be really careful when you look at the liquid. If you look closely, you're going to see that the surface of the water is curved. The curve of this liquid is called the meniscus. When reading this, you want to find the lowest point. For example, the lowest point of this liquid is 4 milliliters. Finding the volume of a regularly shaped object is fairly simple. For example, if you needed to find the volume of a cube, you would measure the length times the width times the height. That will give you the volume. You could use any formula for a regularly shaped object, a sphere, a cylinder, or even a rectangular prism. Finding the volume of an irregularly shaped object is a little bit different. One way to find the volume of an irregularly shaped object is to place it into water. When you place it into water, that is called displacement, where the water moves. Remember, two objects cannot take up the same space at the same time. That's why the volume of the water goes up. So if you look at these two graduated cylinders, this first one, the water level is at 4 milliliters. After placing this rock into the graduated cylinder, the water level was raised up to 6.5 milliliters. Now to figure out the volume of this object, we'll subtract. 6.5 minus 4 is 2.5 milliliters. So we know that the volume of this object is 2.5 milliliters. Mass is the amount of matter that makes up an object. Keep in mind that the mass does not change with location. So your mass is the same on Earth as it is on the moon. Weight is the measure of force of gravity on an object. Weight will change with location. So for example, you are heavier on Earth, or you weigh more on Earth than you do on the moon, because there is less gravity on the moon. Let's talk a minute about the differences between mass and weight. Let's take a look at this brick and this sponge. Both of them have the same exact volume, but the brick has a larger mass. So that means that the earth is going to pull more on the brick than it is on the sponge. Therefore, the brick is going to weigh more than the sponge. The last thing we're going to talk about is inertia. Inertia is the ability of an object to resist change. Look at these two carts. Both are the same size. One is full of bowling balls. The other one only has 2 bowling balls. The cart that is full of bowling balls is going to be very hard to get started rolling. Once it does start rolling, it's going to be very hard to stop. The reason is the object with the larger mass has more inertia. So the one with only 2 bowling balls is easy to start rolling, and it's also easy to stop.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.